Hello, Council 21 members. This is your local council president, Andreas Curley. I'm coming to you today to have a quick discussion in regards to the special board of directors meeting, which was held yesterday and was called on by the executive board to discuss issues related to the U.S. Airways and American Airlines merger, specifically the issues that we face in regards to AFA and APFA. Also, we had a discussion regarding any possible constitution and bylaws infractions by any of the international officers. And we had also a brief discussion, well actually it wasn't brief, a longer discussion in regards to negotiations between AFA, CWA, and the staffers that staff the AFA offices, specifically staff attorneys and so forth. So to begin, we had almost a 4-hour discussion in regards to the U.S. Airways merger with American Airlines. The U.S. Airways MEC was and is very concerned in regards to our international president's possible discussions with the APFA president, the American Airlines Flight Attendant Union president, Laura Gladding, in regards to the possibility of incorporating U.S. Airways flight attendants directly into APFA. Now this is of course a situation that belongs to and is owned by the U.S. Airways flight attendants and leadership, and it was suggested that some of these discussions were done outside of the oversight of the U.S. Airways MEC. Quite a bit of evidence was given and quite a bit of discussion was had between the U.S. Airways MEC, the board of directors, and the international president. To make a long story short, nothing really came out of the discussions as far as any conclusive violations of the Constitution and bylaws. However, it was quite evident, and it appeared to be an issue that revolves around communication between the international president and the U.S. Airways MEC, or a lot of miscommunication, I should say. So in the end, we came to an agreement as far as the board of directors that in any future issues dealing with APFA and AFA, that the U.S. Airways MEC will be directly involved in any further discussions, because quite frankly it is their future that that they should negotiate, and they should have, and that their voices need to be heard, and the international president's voice should be secondary to that, because it's actually, you know, U.S. Airways flight attendants that will be dealt the hand that's, you know, that's dealt them in regards to who will represent them in the future, whether there'll be a representation vote, or whether there'll be a merger, or whether there'll be some sort of cooperation between AFA and APFA. There was a resolution to ask the international president to resign. The resolution was brought on the floor late in the day, and it required a 2/3 vote to even have a discussion, and that was actually voted against, so with a block vote from a larger carrier, several smaller carriers, which basically shut down that conversation altogether. So long story short, I'm satisfied with the discussions, and I'm satisfied that at the end of the day, even though they were very difficult discussions, that U.S. Airways now has the ability and to ensure that they are involved in any discussions regarding future representation, depending on whether the merger even moves forward and what the Department of Justice allows or doesn't allow. We also discussed the state of negotiations of the staff attorneys that work for all of us here at AFA. They negotiate with CWA and one of our staffers at the AFA office. And one very large and very troubling component of the negotiations was that CWA wanted our staffers to give up furlough protection. And we know how important furlough protection is, and we felt it very troubling that a union would that negotiates with staffers would even contemplate such a thing. So we had a lengthy discussion and advocated for the staffers in regards to their contract negotiations. Of course, these negotiations are ongoing, and but we wanted to make sure that the staffers understand that the board of directors of the Association of Flight Attendants stands behind them in them getting a decent contract, and most importantly, a contract with furlough protections. So it was, it was a long day. It was there was a lot of discussion. It was very difficult to have these discussions in regards to our sisters and brothers at U.S. Airways and the feeling that they had, or and the evidence they brought forward in regards to them feeling they had been left out or of discussions when it comes to their future and union representation. They, of course, would like to see this merger go forward. They don't want to lose AFA representation, but again, that's really up to them, and we wanted to make sure that the international president understood that, and I believe at the end of the day we came to a consensus in regards to how things will be moved forward. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of how the meeting went and what went on. I'll try to put out a printed version of the situation and the discussions and the arguments. But in the meantime, I just wanted to give you an update via this video so that you had a little bit of an understanding of what happened at our Board of Directors meeting yesterday. On a separate note, don't forget, October 11th, we have our Meet the Candidates meeting from 1 to 3 at the Washington Dulles Airport. I hope if you're off, you're able to attend so that you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and to make an informed decision on who you'll be voting for your next local council president, vice president, secretary, and council reps. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, take care, fly safe, and take care of each other.